Good morning and welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to the Big Mouth Daily Live. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. The messiest divorce in Hollywood history is between Snyder and Warner Brothers. You know, as a fan and as a Snyder fan and a fan of his DC stuff, I should be so hyped when he releases a picture of Wayne T. Kerr as John Stewart, but I'm not. I am troubled by this, and I'm troubled by this even more. Zack Snyder says WB tortured him during Justice League Snyder Cut experience. I have never heard a director go after a studio so publicly in my life, and it is so troublesome, and it is so toxic, both from WB's end and Snyder's end. There's no question why he's talking like this. He knows it's the end of the road and he's trying his best. He's still fighting. He wants the keys to the kingdom. He's got his fans. He's hoping for the best. Now let's read this article from Screen Rant and Nicholas Graff. Zack Snyder says WB tortured him during Justice League Snyder Cut experience. Zack Snyder says Warner Brothers tortured him during the production of Justice League Snyder Cut, even though he wasn't trying to be difficult, by Nicholas Graff. But you see, they would deem that you were trying to be difficult, filming stuff on your driveway, you know, trying to put John Stewart in, allowing Ray Fisher to do the casting for John Stewart. These are things that a studio wouldn't like. They told you not to shoot any extra scenes, Zach, and you did. That's being difficult, my friend. Love your DC stuff. Love you, man, but we've got to be balanced in our conversations. Zack Snyder is not being shy about the torture Warner Brothers put him through during the making of the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Fans and critics have offered praise to Snyder's cut of the film, with many hopeful to one day see more of the director's vision in the DCEU. Whether or not that will ever happen is likely dependent on how long Snyder remembers the treatment he got from the studio this time around. Leroy King, it sounds like you are Snyder hater, WB are snakes. Well, I'm not a Snyder hater, am I, Leroy? I'm just being balanced. Unfortunately, some of our fandom isn't very balanced in our conversations, and you must admit someone coming out talking about the torture they went through isn't great. It's not going to help the situation, really, is it? I mean, before Zack was being a lot more balanced in his conversations, and he does sound like a man who knows it's the end of the road. The theatrical cut of Justice League, which was released in 2017, was reshot and directed by an uncredited Joss Whedon. Following the film's poor reception, many fans and eventually even cast and crew joined a growing movement demanding that Warner Brothers release the Snyder Cut, believing Snyder's original vision would have resulted in a far superior movie. Their collective prayers were answered when Warner Brothers announced work on the project would begin in 2020, and again when HBO Max officially released Zack Snyder's Justice League on March the 18th, 2021. Snyder spoke about his relationship with Warner Brothers during the Justice League Snyder Cut experience in an interview with Uproxx. While he does not regret getting the chance to make the Snyder Cut, he says the studio didn't make it easy for him. According to Snyder, they're the ones that have been aggressive, not me. I haven't done anything. He went on to talk about some of what he dealt with, explaining every day they turn around and do some weird passive-aggressive thing. So I don't know. It's weird. He continued. It was cool to do the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and that was fun and everything, but Warner Brothers still tortured me the whole time for whatever reason. They can't help it. I don't know why. I'm such a fucking pain in their ass because I'm not trying to be, honestly. But clearly, some of the things that went on with Ray Fisher and your good self and some of the things you were exposing about the studio weren't a cool way to act, maybe. Leroy King, again, DC films will be dead without the Snyderverse. The Hamadaverse will not work. Furthermore, Snyder stated that what happened with the studio is not a normal situation. It's a once-in-a-generation bizarro situation from the original experience back in 2016, 2017, all the way to the Snyder Cut, where Warner Bros. Was still giving him notes and forcing his hand, such as the insistence on removing Green Lantern John Stewart from the movie. It is not hard to see Snyder's point. Luckily for fans, he loved the project and made sure to say he had a great time making Justice League, and that he was glad I got to finish it. The Justice League Snyder Cut had a budget upwards of 70 million and likely would not have occurred if not for the worldwide coronavirus pandemic that shut down production in 2020. Well, actually, my friend, this was greenlit before the actual pandemic started. While Warner Brothers execs may have been shrewd enough to see an opportunity with the Snyder Cut to release something new during the pandemic, again, they greenlit it before the pandemic. They likely were not thrilled at the prospect of more or less giving in the public demand and admitting they were wrong to replace Snyder with Whedon in the first place. Actually, I think they greenlit it during the pandemic. That's a good point, actually, yeah. I'm wrong. Frankly, it should not have been that surprising to get a little hostility from the studio, especially as the state of the DCEU has been such a sensitive subject for DC and Warner Brothers for some time now. The main question that is on the minds of the fans who love the new cut most likely centers around whether or not Snyder and Warner Brothers could ever reconcile and find a way to continue the Snyderverse. And that's the end of the article. And I'll read another article about Green Lantern and Snyder in a minute. Is it likely for them to work together again? No. How can they? How can they when he's talking out like this? He wouldn't be talking out like this if they were going to continue making more Snyderverse content. It's not happening, is it? It's not happening. I'm just wondering who this benefits by coming out publicly and saying that they made his life a living hell. I have no doubt about it. It was an uncomfortable relationship because they never brought him in to do the DCEU in the first place. Christopher Nolan did. That was their fault. Because once Nolan wasn't interested in molding the clay, as we've mentioned many times on this channel, they should have went away from Christopher Nolan. No question about that. They'd already worked partly with Snyder with Watchmen. That turned out the same way, where some people loved what he did and some people absolutely were toxic towards his creation. So they knew what kind of person Zack Snyder is. So what kind of person is Zack Snyder? He comes across as a gentleman, a nice man, a visionary director. I'm not saying any different. Thank you very much, Leroy Cohn. That's not the point. The point is they told him not to film anything extra for the Snyder Cut, and he did anyway. You can't keep on pushing and pushing and pushing against the studio. Their IP, their finances, they were wrong to suggest he releases the rough cut. No question about that. But this was a situation they never wanted to be in. They've been wanting to move away from him for a long time. Look, Leroy Cohn, Army of the Dead is great. I have seen Zack Snyder's Justice League 49 times now. Again, my greatest movie ever. So, we have a situation now, which wasn't the situation before, where he's coming out publicly. There's bad blood here. They certainly didn't treat him very well. You know, he was like a gatecrasher at a party. They didn't want him from the beginning. But they gave him a second chance with BVS, and the same thing happened, right? So from BVS onwards, really, they wanted shot of him. They didn't want any involvement of him. It's such a messy situation. And as I say, I don't really know who this kind of things like revealing the John Stewart picture, you know, telling the world that they treated him badly. I was surprised he came out with that. But he's really going for it now. So I've asked the question, why is he doing this? He wants to paint WB in a bad light while he paints himself. He paints himself as an angel in the situation. I did nothing wrong. It was them daily coming at me with passive aggressiveness, right? The problem is when I have an argument with someone, I think I'm in the right and I think they're in the wrong. There's always a balance to a debate and an argument. But the thing is, it's done now. It's clearly over. They clearly want nothing to do with him. And it doesn't matter how bad they look. They do not care. They have backed their horse in Hamada. They are moving forward. They are not going to restore the Snyderverse. It's as simple as that. And I have a concern here for Zack's mental health and well-being because he's clearly obsessed with this situation. He's clearly still fighting to restore the Snyderverse. And I think his wife and the people who care for him around him, should be saying, you know what, Zach, I think it's time to back down from this. You've got this new universe at Netflix, focus on that. I don't think he can focus. I think he is devastated that he can't make more DC movies. There's no question about that. And I think this is where the problem lies. Now, he's spoken more about Justice League and WB than he has about Army of the Dead. Now, one of his defenders said it's because the media keep on asking him questions. Well, that's simple. You say, listen, I'm here to talk about Army of the Dead. I will not be answering any more questions on the Snyderverse or Justice League or Warner Brothers. But he keeps on talking about them, right? He keeps on talking about them. That's the problem for me. And if I was Netflix, I would not be happy with this situation at all. You're promoting our film. We've given you a chance when nobody else would. And you're coming on our live stream and you're talking about WB constantly. You're shouting out about, another studio negatively on our time, on our finances. It doesn't make us look good because we've still got a relationship with every studio. Netflix need that relationship from every studio because they buy up certain things to show globally. Leroy Kong, Zach deserves better. Bobcat, hey Mickey, hey Bobcat. Leroy, you are really mocking Zack Snyder. No, I'm not. I'm just having a balanced discussion. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia, glazers out. Hey bro, how you doing, Kurt? So it's about having a balanced discussion. I've noticed 2 people have unfollowed my YouTube. That's totally fine with me. I'm going to say what I want to say because I think that's important. I think this is an unhealthy situation for only one person right now, and I think that's Zack Snyder. He needs to move on from this. This is not helping him. A conglomerate company, a studio, a huge studio, don't care. Billy, Manchester United fan from Australia, MUFC. Hello, how are you today? Great, Billy, how are you doing? Are we over the loss yet? I'm not. Shabaya Abraham, keeping it real. Yeah, I'm keeping it real because this is what this channel or any YouTube channel should be about. That's opinionated. Leroy Kong, well, WB will fail. We shall see. But there's nothing to be gained here. This doesn't actually hurt the studio. Billy, Manchester United fan from Australia, MUFC. I'm good. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up back. I haven't got the time to type it in, but I'll give it to you on camera, right? So the long of the short of it is that the studio is moving forward with 7 projects for 2022. They are not going to greenlight this man's vision anymore. That's the end of it. He's dealing with it very badly as far as I'm concerned. And some of the stuff he's saying is just, this is not how you operate within the industry. You don't come out and spill your guts about everything, right? Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australian glazers out. I'm going good today, bro. 2 thumbs up, fist bump, brother. Bobcat, oh boy, Mickey, I can't stop thinking about this girl. She's got me. I don't know if she even meant to get me, but she got me. They never mean to get you, mate, but they're very good, aren't they? They're very good at getting you. So anyway, let's continue with the Zack Snyder conversation. Zack Snyder reveals what Green Lantern's role in Justice League 2 and 3 would have been. Again, he's moving the envelope. He's saying, look at what you could have got. Keep on fighting. Keep on pressuring them. He is a tactical genius. He's not giving up on this. So, Zack Snyder says that Jon Stewart's Green Lantern would have played a major role in stories of his cancelled Justice League sequels by Rick Stevenson of Screen Rant. Zack Snyder has revealed what would have happened to Jon Stewart's Green Lantern in his cancelled Justice League sequels. The character was meant to appear in the Snyder Cut, and the scene was even shot with Wayne T. Carr, cast by Ray Fisher, by the way, playing the role. However, Warner Brothers forced Snyder to keep Stewart out of the film to save the character for potential future projects, and he was replaced in the scene by the Martian Manhunter. When Snyder was first brought on to helm the DCEU, he intended to make a 5-film story arc centering on Superman. The first 3 movies were Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Justice League. The plan was to also make a Justice League 2 and a Justice League 3, which would have gone in depth with the Nightmare timeline where Darkseid conquers Earth. with DC's heroes eventually undoing that apocalypse and defeating him. However, that plan was scrapped after the original Justice League's theatrical release, and the success of the Snyder Cut has failed to rejuvenate any interest from Warner Brothers. Speaking recently with Uproxx, Snyder discussed what would have happened to John Stewart in Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. He revealed that Stewart would have had a major role in the now cancelled sequels. Read Snyder's full quote below. So basically what was going to happen is he had two roles. One, we would have seen him in the post-apocalyptic world. He was kind of like their scout and kind of like their, join the team. And then in the final battle against Darkseid, he would have gotten the Green Lantern Corps and organized them to fight against Darkseid. So awesome stuff, that must be said. The Nightmare struggle and the final battle against Darkseid would have been two of the franchise's biggest moments had they been made. So it's interesting to hear how central to both Green Lantern would have been. Of course, for fans of the comics or the Justice League cartoons, it's no shock that John Stewart would have been the root of the action. Green Lantern is one of the most popular DC heroes ever, and many consider him a more core member of the Justice League than Aquaman or Cyborg. That's true. With that in mind, it would have made perfect sense for him to effectively become part of the team in the Justice League sequels. Sadly, it looks like that the story will never be told. A Green Lantern reboot movie rumored to feature John Stewart has been reportedly in the works for years, but the lack of officially information suggests it may be very far off. In the meantime, a new Green Lantern show is in development for HBO Max, which will feature several iterations of the character, including Guy Gardner and Alan Scott. Bobcat, imagine Zack Snyder doing Blackest Night. Oh yeah, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Bobcat, I think he'd do a good job with that, I agree. Sam the Jam Reviews, you are really hating on Snyder. I am not hating. You don't understand what a balanced conversation is. You clearly don't have the maturity to listen to two sides of an argument. Problem with the internet, I think. Leroy Kong, Zack Snyder is the best thing for DC right now. WB are cowards. Hang on. WB are cowards and clowns. I'm sure they appreciate your opinion. So that's that one. So, I've got an idea. You may not like it. Why wasn't a John Stewart Green Lantern origin movie made pre-Justice League? Wouldn't that have been a better idea instead of rushing towards Justice League, right? Give Batman his own movie after Man of Steel. Give all these characters their own movies. Build them up so you're hungry for them to cross over by the time you get Justice League. It was all done wrong, whether it was WB's decision, Snyder's decisions, they were rushing towards something. Ultimately, he may be planning for 3 Justice League movies. Clearly, by BVS, they had had enough and announced just 1 Justice League movie. The whole thing is a clusterfuck. And now they are trying to sort themselves out, by the way. They are trying to create a franchise where everyone can come in and enjoy. And believe you me, I want to see more of Snyder's DC works. And it's a shame we're not going to get it. Rouge Moonchild, that's WB's fault. I'm not WB, I'm not Zack Snyder. I don't know what happens. I only know internet tittle-tattle. If Zack says something, I'll take his word for it. I believe him. He was there. He was going through this. This is a very unique person, not just a unique director. He doesn't work like other people within the industry work. He's very individual. He's very random. He's very out there. He feels he should be able to do whatever he wants without getting any notes. And it's become very problematic. Even when they say, no, don't do something, he does it. That's the problem with any studio. Bobcat, me who's excited for the Suicide Squad. Well, guess I'm the only one in the chat excited for this. I'm excited for this. Anyway, we move on from Snyder before I burst the blood vessel, and we go on to something a little bit more positive, which is Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois returns new trailer teases even darker family drama. The CW releases a trailer for the remaining Superman and Lois episodes, teasing potentially darker turns to the already rich and complex family drama by John Atkinson of Screen Rant. A new trailer was released for the back half of Superman and Lois Season 1, teasing more cinematic action and even darker family dynamics. Having debuted in 2016, Tyler Hoechlin's version of Clark Kent, aka Superman, has already become a staple of the Arrowverse. Early in 2021, however, the iconic character finally took centre stage, about time too. Reprising the cape alongside Elizabeth Tulloch's Lois Lane, Superman and Lois aired 5 episodes of its inaugural season before going on a hiatus, with the 6th and final season of Supergirl wrapping up its Phantom Zone arc. However, the return of the Man of Steel and family moved ever closer. Played by Jordan Ellis and Alex Garfin, respectively, the titular duo were joined by twin sons, Jonathan and Jordan. Following the death of Martha Kent, Michelle Scarabelli, Clark and Lois relocated from Metropolis to Smallville. Despite hoping for the simple life, trouble predictably soon followed. For Superman, it came in the form of Captain Luthor, Walt Parks. For Lois, it emerged through an investigation into the mysterious endeavors of Morgan Edge, Adam Rayner. As if that wasn't enough, the danger was compounded. The increasing distrust of General Sam Lane, Dylan Walsh. Equally, issues arose from only one twin developing Kryptonian superpowers. Issues that spawned Superman and Lois lingering cliffhangers. Thanks to the new trailer released by the CW network, fans got a taste of what happens next. Leroy Kong, Zack Snyder is the greatest ever. I say to hell with WB. Bobcat, thank God I'm so tired of this argument. They both messed up. It'll be amazing if Zack could continue, but he isn't, so I'll keep hashtagging, but it isn't happening, sadly. You can boycott, but I'm excited. Well said. Bobcat, trying to stay positive, always. The footage offered several developments that could serve to deepen and darken the already complex family drama. Firstly, it appeared as though the show almost served up the death of Superman, with Lois lamenting how close he came to meeting his end. Even Clark himself stated that he'd simply got lucky. Equally, Sam Lane expressed compassion while hiding his own potential involvement. On top of all of that, Jordan continued to struggle with his newfound powers and his emotions, seemingly becoming more inclined to use them in anger and for revenge against his former bullies. Jordan's conflict with Clark looks set to reach a boiling point and take some potentially emotional turns. Check out the new trailer below. The footage didn't merely deliver on its storylines and themes, however. One of the biggest praises afforded to Superman and Lois was how cinematic and unlike other Arrowverse shows it looked. Maybe because it's not an Arrowverse show, the trailer made it clear that that would continue in the remaining episodes. In fact, Superman and Lois look set to take it to the next level in terms of spectacle. In one particularly thrilling moment, the return of the Arrowverse's alternate evil Superman was glimpsed. Furthermore, he was not alone and unleashed upon Metropolis the kind of destruction seen only in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Now, this is interesting because the kind of destruction that Captain Luthor is predicting obviously isn't about this Superman, but another evil Superman. It wasn't made clear whether this was another Captain Luthor flashback, how he foresaw the future, or something else. Either way, the moment will no doubt serve to intrigue and excite Superman and Lois fans all the more. The parallel to Snyder's DCEU offerings would no doubt be a fitting one. After all, Superman and Lois Season 1, Episode 7 will actually be titled Man of Steel. Wow! For all that the footage offered, it just as intriguingly left the specifics of the show's cliffhangers unresolved. For starters, there was no indication of how Jordan escaped the vengeful tag Wern Lee, who was last seen attacking him. Equally, despite a brief glimpse of some creepy experiment, it remained wholly mysterious what Morgan Edge intended for ex-Kryptonite. Whatever the case, answers will no doubt be forthcoming, along with everything promised by the above trailer. As such, excitement for the new episode to air will no doubt reach fever pitch in the preceding days. Wow! So very, very exciting for Superman and Lois. Very exciting. And I can't wait. I'm going to maybe not be able to watch this because it's only available in America, and the place I can watch it is playing up right now. So we'll see about that, but it sounds very, very awesome. I like how unique this show is. Bobcat, trying to stay positive. Bobcat, I still got to watch Superman and Lois. Bobcat, we've lost 2 people. Have we? Oh, I've lost 2 subscribers, I know. Leroy Kong's Superman and Lois is great, great. It certainly is, Leroy. The Flash Season 7 synopsis and date of Cisco's final episode revealed. The Flash fans already knew Cisco's departure was coming, but here is the official air date and synopsis for the beloved character's final episode by John Atkinson of Screen Rant. Following the news that The Flash Season 7 would mark the departure of Cisco Ramon, the official synopsis and air date of his final episode has been revealed. Played by Carlos Valdez, the character of Cisco has been a beloved member of Team Flash from the very beginning. In fact, following the 8th and final season of Arrow in 2020, he became one of the longest-serving characters in the entire Arrowverse. Initially, he served as a genius-level scientist helping Barry Allen Grant Gustin at Star Labs. Ultimately, he became a heroic metahuman in his own right before willingly reverting back again. Earlier this month, however, it was confirmed that both Valdez and Tom Cavanagh would exit The Flash. In Flash Season 7, Episode 9, Timeless, however, it was made clear that Cisco's departure would actually come sooner rather than later. Having wrestled with the gravity of Barry's latest world-saving plan and received inspiration from Timeless Wells, the former Vibe realized it was time to leave Central City. The decision coincided with girlfriend Camilla's Victoria Park plan to relocate. What a stupid way, watered-down, boring way to get rid of an iconic character. To San Francisco. Though it was left unspoken, the implication was that they would embark on that new chapter together in the immediate future. Thanks to the Futon critic, it's been confirmed when exactly the pair would officially make the move. Following a 2-part episode that will likely see Cisco and Camilla struggle with the idea, they will break the news in the appropriately titled The Flash Season 7, Episode 12, Goodbye Vibrations. The episode in question was confirmed to air June 1st, 2021. As fans will be keenly aware, the title is a homage to the specific powers that Cisco had when serving Central City as both Vibe and Mecha Vibe. As well as the air date and an official description of the episode was revealed, making it clear that Cisco wouldn't leave without one last mission. Cisco leaves Central City. Cisco, Carlos Valdez, and Camilla guest star Victoria Park tell the team they are leaving Central City. However, Barry Grant Gustin, Iris Candice Patton, and Caitlin Danielle Panabaker don't have much time to digest the news because a new version of Rainbow Raider guest star Jonah Xiao strikes and OG Team Flash must join together one final time to save the city. Cisco's farewell was written by Kelly Wheeler and Jeff Hirsch. Philip Chimera was the director. The character of Rainbow Raider first appeared in Flash Season 1, Episode 8, Flash vs. Arrow. They were then played Paul Anthony. The new gender flip will almost certainly be a result of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Gender flip, is it? Gender flip, is it? Now, why am I not surprised? Cisco was the one who personally went around Earth Prime cataloguing all the changes and new iterations of villains. As such, the expert knowledge and technological know-how will probably lead to him directly defeating her. That would indeed be a fitting send-off. No, it wouldn't, even as it makes clear how integral he was to Team Flash. The news that The Flash Season 7, Episode 12, Goodbye Vibrations, will mark his final episode tracks with Panabaker's recent comments. She previously relayed that Episode 12 would include a great story for Barry, Caitlin, and Cisco, but it would also be more than a little heartbreaking. Cisco's exit would definitely live up to that description, giving everyone that Caitlin has already lost. It will be especially interesting to see how she copes. Wait a minute, how about the lead character and how many people he's lost? With the news still barring a cruel last-minute twist, there'll be some solace in the fact that Cisco's ending will be a happy one, no? Regardless, fans should probably still have the tissues on standby. Let me tell you what I think. I don't want happy endings for characters. I want dramatic endings. I want him to go off on a mission or vanish or something exciting. That is a shit ending. But when you've got juvenile people watching and juvenile people writing, this is what you get. Imagine if Lex Luthor left Smallville at the end of Season 7 because he found a girlfriend and he was going to live happily ever after. You wouldn't like it, would you? No, neither would I. So there is another article about Superman and Lois somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, this is about what's his name? The guy who plays Diggle. Yeah, David Ramsey directing. I think it's episode 7 or 8 or something, or maybe even 10. I can't remember now. And Lois, and use if Diggle's actually going to be in Superman and Lois. Bobcat, Robert Pattinson, the Batman, got me hyped again. Saw the trailer again, reminded me just how great it's going to be. Oh yes, Bobcat. I think Flash is dragging on too long. I think you've got a point. Superman and Lois boss teases David Ramsey's turns as director and Arrow's Diggle. This is some information I've been looking for quite a while by Chancellor Agard of Entertainment. Entertainment, I think. David Ramsey is bringing his Arrowverse expertise to Superman and Lois very soon. The actor is slated to appear as his Arrow character, John Diggle, and direct several episodes across the CW shared superhero universe this season. Yeah, so he's definitely going to appear in Superman and Lois as Diggle, so that's exciting. His first stop, or at least the one that's airing first, is the May 25th episode of Superman and Lois, which he helmed but doesn't appear in, titled Man of Steel. So the next episode we get of Superman of Lois, David Ramsey is directing it. Very exciting. The hour explores Luthor's Wold Park's backstory quite a bit. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Superman and Lois showrunner Todd Helbing revealed during EW's Around the Table with the Freshman Dramas cast. Parks added, we've been seeing little pieces of him here and him there, little things about him. And I think episode 7 is where you get a real big dive into him and you understand where he's coming from. I'm excited for the fans to see it just because I was excited when I got to read it. In a second interview conducted after the round table, Helbing discussed why he thought Ramsey was the right choice for that pivotal episode. The stuff he directed on Arrow was fantastic, he said, just getting into the Luthor character and the backstory and really getting into his motivations and why he's doing what he is. I think David, having played John Diggle, could just bring his expertise from the Arrowverse on how to tell those stories. So I thought he would be a perfect fit for it. In terms of his appearance as Diggle, this is vital. That comes later in Superman and Lois season. The last time we saw Diggle, he was getting ready to move his family to Metropolis when he found a bright green object at the site of a meteor crash, which was a nod to the prevailing fan theory he was destined to become Green Lantern, John Stewart. Well, not John Stewart, he's still Diggle, right? As of right now, it's unclear if that will play into Diggle's Superman and Lois visit. So, it's pretty clear that he will cameo and direct episodes throughout the Arrowverse. When we see him, we will get little nods and hints to his kind of Green Lantern arc and storyline, which is very exciting. Leroy Kong, Diggle will be a Green Lantern. Yup. Bobcat, I'm going to say something controversial. I don't like that Zack's Superman and Batman kill. I don't like the Batman branding. I still love his Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, but I prefer Christian Bale. Christian Bale is an amazing Batman. Leroy Kong, John Diggle Stewart. Okay. Our episode, I stand corrected, as usual. Our episode gets into the mentality of where he is in his life based on everything that happened to him over the last several years. Helbing said in that second interview, as previously reported, Ramsey will reprise the role of Diggle on Supergirl, the Flash, and Batwoman, and he has a mysterious role on DC's Legends of Tomorrow, so he's all over the place. According to Helbing, Ramsey's on-screen return was initially conceived as a multi-episode arc across the shows. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic squashed those plans. There was like 5-episode story, Helbing said. It was pretty cool, and then because of availability and shutdowns and delay, it was impossible to make it make sense across the shows. There's still a throw line, but it's not as A, B, and C as planned. Ours is kind of a little bit more of a one-off, but thematically it still plays. This is interesting, right? Because it's clear he's going to be in these episodes. So what difference does it? I don't get it. I'm a bit confused, right? Listen. As previously reported, Ramsey will reprise his roles in Supergirl, The Flash, Batwoman, and he has a mysterious role. So he's still doing it. So if he's still doing it, what difference does COVID have to do with anything? It's like they've changed their minds about this clearly Green Lantern arc. So I'm confused. It looks like they're using COVID as an excuse to hide the fact that they've changed their minds about doing something. We know that Diggle appears in the 12th episode of Supergirl's final season, which was co-written by star Azzy Tasefi, who plays Kelly Olsen, and co-producer Jay Hottelfam. The hour will address racial inequality and mark Kelly's debut as the shield-wielding vigilante guardian. It remains to be seen how Diggle figures into the other shows. So I won't be watching Diggle in Supergirl. Thank you for giving me a heads up. So that's that. So I love David Ramsey. Diggle's a great character. He was great in the first few seasons of Arrow as well. He had a great arc. Love the guy. I'm happy that he's directing. I'll keep an eye on some of the other episodes apart from Superman and Lois. But if they're just doing racial commentary, boring. You know, you never talk about starving children and all the other issues of the world. It's identity politics all the time. We're all bored of it. And I think we could do something a bit more exciting and entertaining in a damn superhero show. But RIP, Supergirl, good luck to you. Nobody's watching you because you're full of crap. Bobcat, I still like the older Superman movies and Smallville better. Well, obviously, Christopher Reeve was sensational, and Smallville is my favourite DC, shared franchise of all time. Live-action franchise, the best. Bobcat, I also like Hamada's Aquaman a little better, regardless of air bubbles, lol. Leroy Kong, John Diggle Stewart, oh, we've already read that. So, unless you've got any other comments, that's all for all the updates on today's Big Mouth Daily. Remember, I will return tonight, 6 p.m. UK time. So we will carry on without the two subscribers who are obviously snowflakes and don't like balanced conversations, but I will continue to try and make this channel successful. So please join me, because when we have 1 million subscribers and those two people try and creep back and, sit on my shoulders and say I was with you all the time, I'll say, nah, lads or girls or whatever, you wasn't. Thank you, Leroy. Great live. So comment down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back tonight live for some more conversations where I will say whatever the hell I want. You will say whatever the hell you want without swearing and breaking the rules. And we'll have a damn good time. So see you again tonight. Bye-bye. Bobcat, great live, Mickey. Thank you, Bobcat. I'll see you tonight. Bye-bye.